I mean, what it was for me more with the situationist thing is because we were printing a lot of situationist text, I found a lot of it really sort of bourgeois, and as much as that you sort of almost need a university degree to understand it. Yet within it were the one-liners, which I just found it, in a way, said more. And for me, you know, when we had suburban press at that time in the early 70s, I was trying to use visuals to make a lot of what was quite turgid text but full of great ideas, much more simplistic. I mean, and that again, you know, as you know yourself, a lot of that work was then later used in the punk situation. It was the same sort of theory. Make it accessible. I mean, if I don't believe in much, one thing I do really believe in is accessibility, particularly to your sort of work as an artist. I mean, you know, and so much of it's about obscurity and elitism. But I think that's always been part of the way the establishment and sort of culture works. I mean, things happen from the street, they happen from the heart, and they're taken by people in authority and turned into sort of commercial success and become part of the whole sort of greed that's to do with consumerism. I think art's always been like that. It's always been ahead of the pack. And I think the establishment's very moribund for creativity, and it will just rob things. I mean, it's like sort of some of the best underground music that you can hear in this country now, from the whole sort of house, sort of garage scene. It's sort of, you hear it on adverts for cars, you know, it's sort of, it's instantly sort of taken and consumed, but you just got to keep ahead of the pack. And, you know, it was all very cloak and dagger, didn't see anyone for a month. Get to Trafalgar Square and there's 50,000 people wearing a t-shirt saying bollocks to the poll tax in the same letter and there's never mind the bollocks. It's a continuing story. I mean, the work then, I think, has as much to do with what say happened with the world conferences and going on in Nice now or Seattle. It's very much part of the whole agitprop movement.
So you've got a touring
which interests me far more than pop music.
Fabulous to think that W.H. Smith put a black line at the #1 record and refused to stock it, and people squabbling in
the work one day, and I went into a travel agents and saw this sort of very garish cartoon type brochure, and what I did is actually took the images off that brochure and replaced the existing lyrics, sort of eulogising the sort of delights of going to a sort of cheap holiday in Spain, and I sort of changed them to the lyrics of that Lydon had written of Holidays in the Sun. And we actually got sued by the travel company, and I actually had to go to their lawyers and shred the original artwork. But I had another copy anyway, so that was alright. And the actual back of Holidays, again, was an image that I did from suburban press days, and it was called The Nice Drawing, and it depicted the sort of archetypal middle class nice family where everything in their lives is nice, so everything was labelled nice. That, funnily enough, the image with the monster on the roof, again, was done late art school suburban press days, and it was actually like a monster sitting on the roof of, again, a sort of archetypal middle class house. And it was all sort of about closet secrets and sort of dark things that sort of hide behind the sort of veneer of sort of middle class lifestyle. And funnily enough, initially it became one of the images I toyed around with for doing Anarchy in the UK. I had a black and white version of it, which I think got used in Up They Rise as well, being Up They Rise. I did a whole series of, I must have done about 100 different images, but using that one photo, which was actually just cut out of the Sunday People as an official Jubilee photo. And I did all sorts of different versions with different safety pins, different slashes across it, cups of tea on it, all sorts of different things. And interestingly enough, it was only actually banned as an image when the band was signed to A&M. And that was because I did a version which had sort of link in the sort of German link to the royal family. It had swastika eyeballs. And you know, with all that controversy, what made me laugh is you can get a banned image, but then millions and millions and millions more people see it because it was splashed all across the front page of the Daily Mirror. It was on television. So it got seen by more people through being banned.
That exhibit is called Peace is Tough, named after one of his latest works, which still has that old punk rock spirit.
That was punk rock 1976, and so was this. Jamie Reid's punk Mona Lisa, the Queen with a safety pin through her lip. Now Reid's imagery is art, on display and on sale at $500 a print. Sure, it's ironic, but Reid's work remains undeniably iconic too, with enough energy and attitude to make them more than just signs of their time. The show also includes Reid's equally pointed pre-Sex Pistols work, and his recent output from bands like Atari Teenage Riot and Afro.
It's very much, you know, it's like classically blaming your parents. I mean, I was brought up in a household where Druidism was always there, but much more, not as a dogma, but basically as an appreciation of what's around you. I mean, just a deep love and respect for nature. It's probably why I still got my plot. My dad had an allotment. It's just really that simple as an appreciation of nature. And I was also brought up in an environment that was sort of very socialist, sort of tending to anarchist, particularly with my father. So I mean, it was always there, and it's always been part and parcel of my work. I mean, seeming contradictions, like say from punk and the Pistols to the more esoteric work that I'm doing now, is only different shades of the same magic in many ways. Many ways, I think the whole Pistols and punk thing was quite a major exorcism. This court case was hysterical, because in many ways it might have been in our interest to have lost it. It could have been quite interesting, but Virgin and Branson got in John Mortimer to defend us, who brought in like experts in English on sort of English and Saxon languages from the Yale University to say that in fact bollocks is a word that we should actually, as Anglo-Saxons, be extremely proud of. It's a very old, emotive word, and we won the court case. But it was hysterical seeing the window displays brought into court. And I think, you know, it went on, as these things do. They eventually found in our favour. And the most funniest thing was coming down the court steps in Nottingham and hearing the local sort of guy said in the evening paper, just screaming out, "Bollocks now legal," which I thought was great. Bollocks now legal. It's been a good title.